Hello everyone. So in today's lectures we will see how to perform insert, update, delete operation in JDBC using MySQL. So first of all we need to start our my NetBeans. So in NetBeans we would like to create a first project. So new project. Here we select the Java with AND application because we are right now using a swing. So that for that we are using Java with AND Java application and click on next button. When we click on the next button, at that time your project will be loaded into the memory when you are using the first time. Then what happened? When the project is loaded in your memory and Java activation software engine addition is available, then you can give the name of the project. So here we give the name of the project like crude operation and here the create main class. So we are using a swing and we do not require to put each and every component with their required properties. So here we are click on the create main class, we do not require, we directly require the swing and then click on the finish button. When you click on the finish button, at that time your operation is like that. So in crude operation, two folders is available, source packages and libraries. So when we are using an SQL, at that time we require the SQL driver. So first of all we are downloaded the MySQL connector. So we add the library file in our project. So for that we are using a library file, select, right click, add a jar or folder. So my jar file is, my connector is available on the desktop. So here we are selecting the MySQL connector. So MySQL connector jar file is available. Here we have selected it and open it. So my jar file is available, MySQL connector in my libraries. So this is the first basic things which we are using. Now we are moving forward to the database operation. So we need a database. So for that we are using a C drive, XAMPP server and XAMPP control. Click on and then we start the Apache and then we start the MySQL. So the default port of the MySQL is 3306 and when we click on the admin, at that time my PHP my admin is opening. So when the PHP my admin is opening, now we are creating a new database. So for that select the new and give the name of the database. So here we are giving the name of the database like college and click on the create buttons. So when we click on the create button, at that time my database is created and here it will asking the name of table. So when the database is created, in database you have a table. So here we are giving the name of the table is student like, and here the name of column is 5, means I required 5 columns in student table. So here we create the 5 columns. One by one I will give the name of the column. So first name is ID, second column name is F name, third column name is L name, fourth column name is U name, and fifth column name is password, means pass. Now we are providing the different data types of each and every column name. So here we are using one particular data type like varchar for all this column, so that we are easily moving forward for the next operation. So the length, now we are giving all the length of the student table is 13. So now this is my table, and when we click on the save button, my table is created. You can see in it out the student table is created, and these are the structure of the student table. So these are the basic things which we need to use. So now we are adding some records in the table. So for that we are click on the insert button and give the record ID 1001 First name we are giving a Ravi, then last name is Kamani, username is ABC, and password is XYZ. So this is the username, one record which we are inserted in our table. So when we click on the go button, my record is inserted into the table. When we click on the browse button, it will be display 1001 ID, first name Ravi, last name Kamani, username ABC, and password is XYZ. So these are the column, and we can give its index when we require. So this is the ID 1 index, first name second index, last name third index, username fourth index, and password fifth index. Now we moving forward to the next means and going to the designing part. So for that we are using a JFrame because we are using a string. So here we are use a JFrame. You can give the name whatever you like, but right now we are adding as it is. Class name is new JFrame, and click on the finish button. When we click on the finish button, my frame is display like that. So now we are adding some controls components in the frame and some designing part. So here we have 5 columns. So here we are using 5 labels, 1 2 3 and 4, and now we are giving a name of each and every label. Like for that what we are doing, select the label, right click on it, edit text, and give the ID, enter. Then next first name. So here we are giving the first name of the label, then last name, then username, and the last is password. So these are the field which we would like to add it. So first we need a text field for the text field ID, then first name we need a text field, then last name we need a text field, then username we need a text field, and for the password we are using a password field. So now we are selecting this all the controls like text field and password field, and click on the properties and give the length of the column is 10. So these are the equal length of each and every controls of the JText field 1 to password field. Now we change the variable name of the JText field. So first we are changing and give the ID is T1, then next T2, then next T3, then next T4, and then next T5. That means each and every component ID is T1 to T5. And now we clear the text field, right click, edit text blank, because now the size of the text field is equal, because we have changed the name of the column properties, and at that time we have given a 10. So these are the length is equal. Now we are putting a sum button for next type of operation. So first we are using an insert button to insert the record. Then we need to put one more button for update the record. Then we need one more button for delete the record. So these are the simple fundamentals which we have designing. Now when we are using an update record, at that time we require some ID. So based on the ID we can update it out. So for that we need one more button. It's called a search, because when we are searching the record and it search the record will be display, search record will be display in your ID. So here we are giving a one search button and one more combo box it's required. So here we are give the name of the combo box as it is. We are not changing anything more. So now what we can do? So on the insert button click event, when we are going to the forward, so here first we are changing the font so that people can easily view your codes. So here the name of the class you can see it out. So name of the class is available new frame. So in new frame, what we can do? So in new frame we are using some operation like first we are adding the package import java.sql.star. That means all the libraries which are available in the SQL package is loaded here. Now what we can do? So we need some database related operation. So here we are some variables which we are defining globally. So whenever we require, we can directly access these variables. So for that we are defining string variables like some of that a id means id, then f name for the first name, l name for the last name, u name for the username, and pn for the password. Then we need a connection with database, so we are using a connection class object cn. Then we are using a prepaid statement for query execution. So for that we are using an pst. When we require to display the record, at that time we are using a result set object. So here we are creating a result set object rs. So now what we can do? So after completion of the constructor, here we are defining one method. The name of the method is like this, void connect. Void, that means it will not return anything, and we are creating a method like void connect. So in void connect method, I have already told to you people, so whenever you are using any type of code related to database execution in JDBC using MySQL, so first need to write down try catch block. Otherwise what happen when you are not using and try catch block, at that time it will throw an error. So first and foremost things, you need to write down the try catch exception. So for try catch exception, we are using a class.forName for database connection. So here we are using a class.forName and load the driver of MySQL. So here we are writing down com.mysql.jdbc.driver. So this will load my driver in class.forName. Then after what we are doing, connection class object cn is equal driver manager dot get connection. So here in get connection we are providing the URL of the database. So here we are writing down JDBC mysql my database is available in the local host. Then we are writing down localhost 3306, which are the default port number which we have seen, and database name college. Then after we give the username of the database. So these are the username root and password is blank. So these are the simple queries we are using and URL. So now what happened when we are using a database connection? At that time, if we would like to first check my database is connected with the server or not. So for that we are using a system.out.println means SOP, and it will give me the message, whatever the message is available. If the connection is established successfully, then it will give the message connection established, otherwise it will throw an error. So for that we are creating a void connect method. When we are using a constructor of the new jframe class, so here we are calling this method. So when the frame is loaded, at that time my connection is loaded into the memory. So we are using run buttons and click on OK. So if the connection is established, then it will give me a success message, your connection is established. So this is the simple fundamental things which we are using in connection. Now what happened? So next operation is like a button. So when we are using a button, so for that what we can do? So first we are stop the frame and go into the design part. Now select the button, insert, right click, event, action and action perform. If you do not like that, then you can double click on the button also. when you double clicks on the button, then you can defining out your code. So what we are doing in the insert record, so whenever we are using an insert record, at that time what we can do, so for that we are using an insert query we required when we insert the record. Without it the insert record is not possible. So for that you need to insert the record and write it down the insert query in your database, otherwise your query would not be executed properly. So what we do in the insert record, so before inserting the record, what we are using, we need to get the value. When the user is input here the value ID, first name, last name, username and password, then we need to insert into the database. So for that we have declaring the some variables here, AID, AppName, LName, UName and PName. So what we do, so first we get the value. If AID is equal t1 dot get text, that means the t1 which we have defined the text field name. Then first name fn is equal t2 dot get text, so it will get the second field name. LName means ln is equal t3 dot get text, it will get third field value. Then uname is equal t3 dot get text, so it will get the value of fourth field, sorry, it's a t4 not like 3. And last we are using pn is equal t5 dot get text. So these are the things which you are getting the value. Then what we are doing in the next steps, so we need to create an object of prepared statement. So for that we have defined the prepared statement here. Prepared statement object is pst, so we need to write it down the direct code. Pst is equal cn dot prepared statement. So as we have mentioned earlier, whenever you are using a connection with any type of in database, so you need to write it down the try catch block. So here we are also defining the try catch block, and then we are adding the some datas. So like we are adding to try and catch block, because when any type of exception is arising, so you need to know which type of exception is arise. Otherwise what happen, you will finding out which type of exception is arise, but you will not get the proper result. And if you are not getting the proper result, then it would be difficult to get the solve of any type of error. So here we are creating an object of the pst. So for that we need to write it down pst equal cn dot prepare statement. So here in prepare statement we are passing the query of insert record. So what we are writing, insert into table name, that means student, and then we are writing down the values. If you would like to pass it out the value, then you can pass it out. And here how many parameters in our table, so we have seen the 5 parameters: first name, last name, username, password and id. So here we are passing 5 parameters as a question mark blank. This dynamic value whenever you are passing into the database, at that time it need. So here we are passing the values, and then after what we are doing, pst dot set string. Set string, that means this is the first one, that means the column id. So here the first id that means 1. So here we are mentioning out the column index 1. So when you are using a second column, so we can change it out the value, and we are give the value of. So here 2 that means first name, 3 that means last name, 4 that means username, and 5 that means password. So when we are getting the value from AID, it will be passed here. For append get value we are passing here. For ln get value we are passing here. For uname get value we are passing here uname, and for password we are passing the value pn here. And whenever we are using an prepared statement and updating the record, so for that execute update method is available. So execute update method is responsible to execute your query, and when we need to display the record is inserted successfully or not, so we are using a J option pen to display the message dot show message dialog. Here we are passing the null values, and here we are giving a simple message, a record inserted. And after the record is inserting, we are clearing out all the text field. So t1.set text, that means blank, means my text field is blank. So now we are copying and pasting the record t1, t2, t3, t4 and t5. So t2, t3, t4 and t5. So now my code is now ready to execute. So we will execute our code and record insert. So here we are giving the value 1002. In record we are giving a Chagan last name, say for example Magan, username Akshit, and password we are giving a 789. Whenever we are click on the insert button, it will be giving me a message like record inserted. When I click on the OK button, the record will be clear because we are here passing out the text field value blank. And when we see into the database my record, it will be display like Chagan, Magan, Akshit and 789. It's a password. So these are the simple way to add the record in your database. So now next step to search the record, because the record is available in the database. So now we need to search the record. So for that, what we are doing, searching the record. So here we are using a search button. We can select it, right click, action perform event. So before searching the record, we need to create one method like a search. So like a connection, we have created a method like connect. Now we are creating one more method like search. So in search method, what type of operation we are performing, you can see. As earlier mentioned, whenever you are doing any type of code in the JDBC and or any type of operation like CRUD, then first need to write it down in try catch block, otherwise it will throw an error. So here we are writing down system.out.println and exception I will printing out. And now what we are doing, so here already we have creating a connection of the database. So when the database is loaded in the constructor, then we are directly goes to the search method. So here we are using an prepared statement object, PST is equal cn.prepare statement. So in prepare statement, here what we are finding, select star from id, or we can write it down, select id from student. That means it will finding out the id of the student table. So for that, what we are writing down, rs means result set object, as we have mentioned earlier, result set object rs. So here we are using rs dot pst dot execute, rs is equal pst dot execute query. So what happened, the query will be executed in the result set. Now what operation we are doing, so when the user is selected from here any record which are available in our database id, and this record will be available in our tables, in our text field. So what we are doing, so here we are using a jcombobox object. So what can do, jcombobox dot remove all items. Means if previously item is loaded, here you can see item 1 2 3 4. So if the previously added item is available, then it will be removed. So we are using jcombobox1.remove all items. Now what we are doing, while rs.next means result set object dot next, and in result set object dot next, what we operation we are using, if the condition is true, then what is the things, combo box 1 dot add item, which item we need to add in combo box add items, which item we need to add, then we can specify rs dot get string. That means in result set whatever the string you are getting, here we are mentioning out. So here we are mentioning out the first column name. That means in our database, as you know, the first column is id. So here we are specifying the first means that one, that means it's a column id. So when we are using this and we execute it, then my id is loaded into the memory. Before that there is some errors. We are specifying here the print ln. Now we are executing. My all id is, when I click on the search button, now you can see it's item. When I click on the search button, my id is loaded, not loaded. What happened? Because the things is that we have not called the search method. So here we are using a search method when my memory is loaded. When the init method is called, at that time first connect method is called and then search method is called. So now click on the buttons and now you can see my 2 id which is available in my database. Both are here available in our screen. So you can see it out. So this is the id 1001 and 1002. Both id is available here. Now what happened, when I click on particular id, this id all the record available in my text field. So now what we are doing for that, so for that we are using a search button. When you can click on the double click of search button, now what you would like to define. So first we need to define one string variable, like we can say it's a PID, and we writing down the combo box 1 dot get a selected item dot to string, which we have earlier seen in the swing operation. Now we are defining, getting the value of each and every text field in my frame. So here we are also defining out exception, and then we are printing out system dot out dot print ln, and now we are printing the particular id. So now in try catch block, pst is equal cn dot prepare statement. So in prepare statement, what we are using, select star from student. That means select star from student table, where whatever the id is selected, we are here specified. So for that we are dynamically get the value. So here we are specifying the question mark, so it will get the value of particular text field. Now what things is happening when we get the particular value of it? So for that we are here specifying the first name, means that first name variable which we already mentioning out in earlier portion. So here we are mentioning out the first name. So first we will get the value of first name. First name is equal t2 dot get text, means as we know, we have given the name of the first name, and the name of the text field is t2. So you can see it out. So here we writing down first name is equal t2 dot get text, then l name is equal t3 dot get text, then u name is equal t4 dot get text, and pn is equal t5 dot get text. So these are the simple things which we are using in our tables. And one more is missing here. The AID is equal t1.getText. So these are the 5 fields which we are using in our tables. So here these are the things which we are getting the value of t1 to t5. Then what happened? So here we mentioning out the somewhat changes in our queries. Here we first need to execute the query. So for that we will writing down rs is equal, we need to first execute the query. So for that we are writing down rs is equal pst.execute update. pst.execute update. So when the execute query is executed, at that time we will check it out if in rs, that means result set record is available or not. If the result set record is available, then what happened? rs.next is equal true, then it will be executed like that. If t1 to t3, here we move out and writing down t1 dot set text, which text we will require to set it out. Then we writing down rs dot get string, which string we are getting. So here we are using a column id, that means 1. So next we are respectively using different string like t1, t2, t3, t4 and t5. Here we change the different values of the particular string value, and then we write it down the column name like 2, like 3, like 4 and like 5. So these are the simple things which we are using in displaying the particular record when we are click on the buttons. So now we are saving it and running it out particular code. And when we click on particular record and select and click on search button, it will be available on your databases. Wait for some parameters, one is not set, so we will check it out. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, now we need to add one more statement. So pst, that means a prepared statement object dot set string, which string we would like to set on column 1, which we get the PID. PID, that means in combo box whatever the item is selected, it will get it out, and then after the query is executed. When the query is executed, then all the record will be set in rs dot string 1 2 3 4 5, that means your column, and it will be set in your text field. So now we will execute it out, and the first one record is available, and we click on the button, all the records is displaying here. The same meanwhile, if we are selecting the record number 2 and click on search button, then it will display the second column record. So this how we are searching a record in our database with the id. So now we moving forward for the next operation is called update. So now next operation is like update. So what we are doing in update, click on the update button, and the same code which we are using in update will get in insert, we are pasting here. So here the insert record code is here, we are getting, because we have not taken much more time. So here we have copied it, the code, and paste on the update button. So here we are pasting it. We need to add one statement like just string combo box. So what we are doing, so here we get the value of string of combo box value. So here in update button we specified as a string of combo box. So here where we are getting the value, so here what happened? When we are selecting a particular item from the combo box, it will be displayed here, and the query would like somewhat changes. So what change here we are defining out. So here in update statement we write it out the query like update table name, that means student. We set what value we are setting for app name, that means column name of table. We are dynamically changing out. The first name we don't know, the last name whatever we would like to change we don't know or user don't know. Then we are spacing out uname, which are dynamically changing out, so user also don't know. And the password, if user would like to change, then it will also don't know. But now which condition you are specifying? So here we are specifying where id is equal whatever the id is given. So here we are specifying the id, and remaining portion is as it is. We do not change anything, and now we are only changing out the record updated, here the message. Now we execute our programs and see what result we are getting. So when I am selecting a particular ID, say for example 1002, and click on search button, then it will give here 1002 record is available. So this 1002 record is available. Now I will changing out the name of Chagan to Rakesh, last name Patolia, username we are giving a Rakesh, and password we assign 123456, and now click on update button. When we click on the update button, it will display a record is updated and it will be blanking out. So now we check it out our database if the record is available or not, updated or not. So for that when we are click on the update button, then it will check it out the record is updated or not. So here and first name, that means here we are finding out some values. So first here we specified 1 2 3 4, and last one is specify the ID 5th. So here we are getting the PID, not AID. So PID, that means the PID which we have assigning out, and here we give the name. So you can seen it out. Update student set first name, that means my first column of FN. L name, that means my second text field. Uname, that means my third text field. Password, that means my fourth text field, and ID, that means PID. It will get it out. Now the code is executing out properly. So here we are blanking it out and executing the code, and now we one more time changing it out. Chagan replace with Rakesh, Patoria, Rajkot, and here we specify 1 2 3 4 5 6, and click on update button. It will be updated record. Now we will check in our database the record is available or not. So you can check it out. The Rakesh, Patodia, Rajkot and 1 2 3 4 5 6 record is updated. So these are the simple query for the update button. The same like delete button. Same query would be executed on the delete button, but somewhat changes. Suppose we are copy this code due to some time limitation, and copy this code and click on the delete button. And when I click on the delete button and put it here, so what we are changing it out. So we do not require to get any type of text. Here only we change and specify the delete query, delete from student table where id is equal question mark. And next, what we require PID. So what we here writing out pst dot set string, and it will define a column ID and PID, and then execute update, and we change the message record deleted. So that's it for update delete operation. Now we are executing out, and when we select the particular record, suppose 1002, and click on the search button, then 1002 record is available. When I click on delete button, it will display me the record deleted. And when we see into the database and browse button, when I click, then it will be deleted from the database side also. So these are the simple fundamental. Here we can change it out. If we call the search method every time, then these things will be deleted from every time. So here we would like to call search method for the delete button also. Then update button, we are also calling the search method, so it will also removing out. And for insert, we are also defining out the search method. So now when we are using an application properly and we execute and enter the record 1003, name is ABC, last name is XYZ, username is equal 123, and password is equal 456. Click on insert button, the record is inserted, the record is available here 1003 also. Now one more record we are adding, 1004, username is equal AAA, last name is equal BBB, username is equal CCC, and password is equal DDD. When we click on the insert button, record is inserted, ID is available here. When we select the particular ID and click on the search button, all the record is available. Now we are changing the first name from AAA to ZZZ, and for last name QQQ, and update, click on update button, record is updated. So now when we click on the 1004 button, it will be updated. So when we click on the search button, it will be updated 1004. So you can see it out, 1004 record is available. And 1003, when click on the search button, this will available. If we are updating the 1004 from XYZ to ZZZ and update, so 1003 record is updated. When click on the 1003 and search, ZZZ is available. And when we would like to delete the 1003 and click on the button record deleted, you can see here 1003 record is also deleted. So this how we are performing an operation like insert, update, delete and search record.